Despised Icon has returned with their album Beast. This is their first disc in 7 years, and they are one of the more important bands. In fact, they are considered by some to be one of the major forefathers of the deathcore movement, one of the best bands that movement has to offer, and certainly one that has really showed some of the depths and density that the subgenre actually could, in theory, bring to a widespread audience. So with Beast, what do we have? We have 10 tracks. It doesn't even clock 30 minutes. So this Beast is one that is over very, very quickly. Most of these tracks don't make it past the 3.5 minute mark. Some of them don't even make it that far with 2 tracks, which serve as more introductory, a little bit of ambiance. Really don't even make it past or supersede the 2 minute mark. So, wow. How do these guys sound? Are they back and better than ever? Some of the riffs that you get on this album certainly have a lot of crushing potential to it, and deathcore has always been a subgenre of heavy metal where being overly technical is not a necessity. It's not something that you absolutely need to do. So whenever the aftermath comes and kicks in, it's the very first cut off of this album, they do have this chorus that reminds me a little bit of like a Hatebreed song, but it swirls around with this very thick, boombastic riff that certainly gives it a lot of oomph and a lot of ass. So there's much that is being really consumed by the listener whenever they take this in. Now, since it does sort of have that little Hatebreed-ish approach to it, it does have a direct feel, and it's also one that at 3 minutes and 37 seconds is actually the longest track on the album. Yeah, the longest track is also the first track. And this is a song that also feels like that it could have been over within, maybe 2 to 2:15 in the runtime. However, they did want to showcase that they were back in the fullest potential by having a little bit of that drop tune, a little bit of that sort of semi-breakdown style, really end this track in its proper Despised Icon fashion. Going into Inner Demons and Drapeau Noir, this is certainly ones that start to showcase what Despised Icon's been all about ever since they first got started. This as all of the trademarks, while also even incorporating, amazingly enough, a couple of pig squeals, as if you didn't remember that those were there. The one thing that Despised Icon has that really helps them out is their twin vocal assault. It's one where different real sides of that spectrum are handled by different folks, which gives it a real collective appeal. You definitely have a little bit of difference. You can notice these things, and it gives it a little bit of a nice effect, considering each person's strength only helps to boost the tracks. So whenever you hear those pig squeals, whenever you hear some of those deeper growls, you are certainly getting something that doesn't sound like it's somebody that's trying to transition from one side to the next. And while that type of thing is very impressive, it is also something that you should stick to what you are absolutely pristine at doing, and that's certainly the case here. Sad Vibes, that should be the new emo band, Bad Vibes, Sad Vibes, or whatever, is kind of an interesting song. And also, it's very interesting that in Inner Demons, there's something that sounds like Dick Father in there. You just listen to the song and you'll kind of know what I mean. You'll hear it, and you know it's definitely not what they're saying, but you hear that and just the intonation and how they're rushing the thought a little bit, and it's kind of funny. But Bad Vibes is an interesting song, and you would never expect a song where one of the main things is that you give me bad vibes would be in a deathcore song, but here it is, and it actually works out kind of nice. Moving on to the second portion of this album, it opens up a little bit, as open as it possibly could be. These songs staying within the 3-minute range do give the opportunity for a couple of more breakdowns to occur. That is a part of the Despised Icon sound. It's something that if you're not going to accept it previous, you're not going to accept it on this album. Everything definitely stays within their playbook. And this is a return album, so it's one where they want to return with perhaps some newer tricks. You're not hearing too much of that. If anything, they have taken a very simple route with this return. They've kind of taken a safe route with this return as well, which will probably let a couple of people down. But overall, this is one that is a pretty easy 29-minute listen if you are a fan of death metal or a fan of deathcore. Now, for those of you who are really on the fence about this, for those of you who are not really all that big into it to begin with, like that guy who just ran away screaming in his motorcycle, this isn't an album that's going to necessarily get you into deathcore, which does cause some elements of disappointment. All in all, whenever I heard that this disc was coming, I figured that there was going to be a lot of risk. They were going to come back with a fury and a vengeance, and this did feel a bit safe. But that safety is still good, considering Despised Icon retained what they had known. 7 years did not really keep them away from their strengths. The songwriting I just felt was... the songwriting will get better as they get back into the swing of things. Overall, this is a 79 out of 100 album. Not a bad album by any stretch of the imagination. Don't let that score fool you. That's like a C+. It's still passable, and fans of this group are still going to dig it, considering it's the first thing that they have heard from this band in 7 years. It's great to hear these guys back. It's awesome to have them back and making tunes again. Definitely showcasing some of the roots where this deathcore movement came from, and definitely still one of the better practitioners of it out there. What do you guys think about Beast by Despised Icon? Let me know in the comments below. I tried to make this as short as the album, but I do like to talk. That's why I like progressive music, I guess. My name is coverkillernation. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.